Welcome, and thank you for joining me today and your interest in reaching and ministering to those that are ages 55 and above. This is a vital and dynamic ministry of the United Pentecostal Church International, and I'm so thankful for the vision of our General Superintendent, Dr. David Bernard, in creating this ministry. I am not an expert on this subject by any means, but I am excited about it. I totally believe in it because I have seen how this ministry can greatly enrich an individual, the church family, the community, the district, and even the organization as a whole. I stand here today on the shoulders of godly parents and elders who invested in me, believed in me, prayed for me, and gave me opportunity. I was raised in a pastor's home. My grandfather and great-grandfather are ministers of the gospel, and my family is all involved in ministry. It has been such a blessing to me to have this wonderful heritage. I learned from them as well as many other elders throughout my life, and for that I am eternally grateful. This stage of life is rich with experience and wisdom. As Job 12:12 states, "Is not wisdom found among the aged? Does not long life bring understanding?" And there's a lot of opportunity for us in working with those of sage age. In preparing for this presentation, I did some research, and I just want to go over some of the statistics I found about this particular age group and set the groundwork, so to speak, as to why the Sages ministry is so needed in our churches today. As of 2024, there were over 97 million Americans that were age 55 and older. That is almost 1 in 3, which is approximately 30% of our total population. We have a large group of people to work with, as well as a large field of harvest for the kingdom of God. If you research those ages 55 plus, you are going to find a varied set of circumstances. In fact, it's probably one of the most diverse dynamics of the age categories. Some are still employed full-time in the workforce. Some are busy raising families. They might have gotten a bit of a later start, while others have taken early retirement and are enjoying travel and all of the opportunities that having the extra time can bring. Some have taken on the role of being a caregiver for elderly parents, which I understand well, as I did it myself, and that brings a whole different set of challenges and responsibilities. However, for many, it can also feel like a time of huge transition and sometimes a real loss of connection and purpose. According to the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, nearly 1 in 4 adults, 65 plus, are socially isolated. Upon further study, I found some rather shocking results with regard to isolation. Were you aware that social isolation increases the risk of dementia by 50%, stroke by 32%, and heart disease by 29%? Those statistics were real eye-openers for me. Depression affects about 7 million adults over the age of 65 in the U.S. alone, and it's also said there that many are undiagnosed even. This age group is one of the most lonely groups of society. With some of them, their children are grown and have located elsewhere. Some have great familial connections, while others do not. Others have lost spouses and are dealing with the grief of that loss. Some are struggling financially and even have serious health issues. Social engagement is so needed. Older adults with social engagement on a regular basis are 70% less likely to experience cognitive decline. All of these statistics prove the need for sages. We need each other. Have any of you noticed some of your older saints in your churches struggling a bit? Maybe they need more connection within the church. Maybe they need an opportunity to serve. Those in the sage age group in our churches are often faithful members who have been part of the church for a number of years and have been a huge financial support, served in many capacities, and even held leadership roles. They may be slowly relinquishing those responsibilities to the younger element of the church. In doing so, many struggle to find new purpose because they've left their secular career and now they no longer have a position or obligation within the church. It is vitally important for this group to still feel that they are needed, involved, and have divine purpose. If these feelings are diminished or even gone, you will begin to see them retreat, feel invisible, disconnected from the church, begin to miss services, and maybe even stop coming altogether. This is why it is so vital to keep them involved and thriving. I know I've related some negative findings from the statistics, but there is a positive side in this. In this group, you're going to find people that are ready and willing to serve. Statistics show that those 55 and above contribute over 3 billion hours annually of volunteer service in the U.S. This just tells me that they want to contribute, they want to give back, they want to make a difference, and they want to leave a lasting impact. They have extra time that they can mentor the younger generation and do Bible studies for new converts. This group of people have acquired a lot of wisdom over the years, and they're happy to do whatever they can to be helpful and a blessing. The real key here is working with all ages of people effectively. So how is this accomplished? As we age, the need for community increases. We want connection, purpose. And I think this group actually senses their mortality a little bit more, and it becomes more important to make that difference. A fellowship group for those 55 plus is not just a social option. It is a lifeline. It nurtures the soul, it stimulates the mind, as we've already mentioned. It strengthens the body and also fosters a legacy that can ripple through families and help strengthen local churches. We have seen it happen in our own church. When the parents got on fire for God, it brought their adult kids back. Then the grandchildren came and were baptized, all as a result of the parents getting renewed and ignited for God once again. So it cannot just be a social event. It has to be something with purpose and vision. And I want to cover just a few of the positive impacts that this type of fellowship can have. I do have a handout for you for this, so I'm not going to go into depth about this, but I'm just going to highlight them. Number one, it creates space for genuine connection. It helps people feel less alone. Number two, it promotes mental and physical health, as we've already mentioned. Regular group interaction can help reduce their stress. Number three, it fosters a sense of purpose. At this age, many are asking, what's next for me? What can I do? And fellowship groups offer those mentorship roles, service opportunities, exactly what is needed to reignite that passion. Number four, it provides spiritual and emotional support. The group becomes like a family inside the church family. Many are navigating major life transitions. They need that extra support that a smaller group can provide. It can be a safe place for them for prayer requests, encouragement, and growth. Number five, it offers a legacy-focused environment, meaning what can we do to leave an impact on the coming generation? This type of group fosters all of these opportunities. Now let's move on to building your own local SAGES groups. One of the first things that must happen is for there to be a burden for the ministry. And this burden typically starts with the pastor and then the person that he asks to lead the group. And I am so grateful for our pastor, Michael McFarland, who totally believes in this ministry and has supported us every step of the way. I can truly say it makes a difference. I can tell you, though, that when our pastor approached my husband and I did not have a burden. I didn't expect what was coming. I had recently retired from doing the music ministry for our church, and I thought I was ready for a rest. Apparently, God didn't. My husband had felt for some time that God was going to open something new for us. We just didn't know what it was. So when Pastor first mentioned it, my husband accepted readily because he felt like this was it. I didn't know how we were going to achieve anything or where to even start. So I began to pray and seek the Lord for some guidance and direction. I asked God to place a burden on our hearts and somehow unfold this ministry in us. And that is exactly what began to happen. He placed a passion in us for serving and also began to drop ideas into our hearts of how we could accomplish this. We began to prepare, and God just began to bring it all together. We really felt that our group was to be a group that focused more on serving. And part of serving is being an example to those that are coming along behind you. And within the church, there are so many opportunities where we can serve. We have prayer groups, encouragement groups. They can send texts. They can send cards. We can deliver food. There are a variety of things that we can do within the church to bring encouragement and strength. Because our group is geared towards serving, we call it OASIS, which stands for Older Adults Sharing in Service. You can call your group anything you prefer, but because our group was focused on serving, we wanted our name to include our mission. I provided a handout for you stating many of the ways that we have served and ideas that you might want to implement into your groups as well. I will tell you that not everything worked quite as awesomely as we envisioned, and some things we just needed to refine a little better to the needs of our group. We had several in our group that really had felt isolated and lonely, and we began to earnestly seek God as to how to involve them, not just put them to work, but for it to be something that ignited passion in them for the work of the Lord. The first meeting we had was our vision casting meeting. Our pastor came to lend his support to our endeavor, and I feel like that is extremely important within a group because your group will see that your pastor is behind you. We shared with our group what God had laid on our hearts and how we hoped to accomplish it and how we believed that would help our church, and most of all, that we needed them to accomplish the goals, that we could not do it alone. We took time to answer any questions, and this is also when we did a talent search. And I am providing this form to you as a template for you. You can change it to fit your specific needs, but this form listed many of the areas that we hope to serve, and we wanted their input as to what sparked their interest. Once we had that, then we could build our teams accordingly. The meeting also consisted of a very fun little game that we played as to how well we truly knew each other. And we found out that we didn't know each other as well as we thought. A lot of stories came up and a lot of laughs pursued as a result. We had a lot of fun that day. And another huge element of the meeting was food. You always have to include food. And we try to change the menu often, make it fun, make it inviting. You want to keep your group interesting and focused. And we found that when you do so, the group will grow. I'm going to cover just a few of our tried and true programs that you might find works for you as well. They have been very effective in getting a large element of our group involved. And I will start with our mentorship program. We assign an elder to a younger person or a young married person in the church. We encourage them to take them for coffee, lunch, spend time together, get to know them, become their friend, pray for them. If you see them go up during service for prayer, go up and lend your support. Not to get in their business, not to tell them how to live their life, just become their friend. And I have seen that it has brought the age groups together. It avoids silos happening in your church where your young people are over here, the older people are here, the 40-something maybe here somewhere in the middle, but none of them are communicating. The mentorship program brings the groups together and it develops friendships. Our next successful event that we have continued to do for several years now is our food mobile market. And through that, we have been able to really include a lot of the people in our groups. When the individuals begin to pull in the parking lot, they will meet our registration team, which is several of our ladies. Then the next person that they meet would be Brother Harry. Brother Harry sits in a scooter and due to MS difficulties, and he invites everyone to church that comes in our parking lot. And on any given day, he can invite as many as 150 people to church, not counting all of the people in the car. We typically service around 400 to 500 people. So I always tell Brother Harry he's invited more people to church in one day than many invite in 1 year. It's a blessing. He has such a connected personality, the people like him, and it's been a blessing. As they drive on around to the front of the church, they will meet Brother and Sister Price. Brother Price is 84, Sister Price is 80. They pray over every individual that comes into the parking lot. And in doing so, they have developed friendships with these people. The people will bring cards with lists of more prayer requests or tell them, our prayers were answered, thank you. They compile a list. They keep it from market to market. They pray over that list and the in-between times. It has been such a blessing, not only to our church, but to them as individuals. They have thanked me over and over for allowing them the privilege of standing there. And I tell you, sometimes it's 30 degrees with snow blowing. Sometimes it's 100 degrees. They're still there. So it has been such a wonderful program. You'll venture out into the parking lot and you will see our parking attendants there. We have one that is 85 years old. He stands there approximately 3 hours every time we do market because he's committed to the cause. He has got purpose in his life, and it's just been a blessing to see. Another one of our programs is our Adopted Grandparents Program. Now, this is for children whose grandparents either do not live in this area or may have already passed away, or it's a fractured relationship and they don't have grandparents in their lives. Being there for these children and making them feel special has been such a blessing to our church. We usually pair them up with individuals that do not have grandchildren or their grandchildren are far away. And so it is a win-win for both of them. And not only does it make the children feel special, but it strengthens the parents' relationships in the church and again brings the age groups together. We have prayer groups where we pray for special needs. We have prayer captains, and under them we have split it up into individual teams. We have an encouragement ministry, which has also been a blessing. The ladies will send cards if someone's going through a hard time. They lost a family member. They had surgery. They'll send cards or text and say, we're praying for you. It's just a way to serve. And in those groups, we also will do sometimes an ice cream drop, a cookie drop. We'll take food to those that are sick or had surgery. You just look for ways that you can serve, and they are there. Once a year, we do a heritage service where we focus on our elders, and we use speakers and singers from that generation. We try to sing some of the older songs. We remind them how important they are to the church. That's just a few of the exciting things that we do that God has really blessed our church with. So you might want to consider doing those things, or maybe God will direct you to totally customize it to the talents and personalities of your own church. One of the things that I have heard Brother Kuhn mention over and over again is that if all you do in your group is go out to eat, it's going to die. There has to be something that draws them there. It has to be purpose-driven. Not to say that once in a while you don't go out to eat as a group. That's fine. We do that too. But just do not make that your only activity. We're now encouraging our group to really reach out, bring others to our meetings and events. We want to be a group of soul winners. We're not just trying to minister to the people that are in our church. We have a huge harvest field, as I already mentioned, to reach, and God needs each one of us to accomplish what He had in mind for us to do. The callings and gifts of God that He gave you in your youth are still there. It is up to us to use it. There is a large, ready, and willing group of people waiting to be seen and used by God in this season of life. Psalm 92:14 said they will bear fruit in old age. If we're going to bear fruit, we must be constantly tending to our walk with God and doing what God has asked us to do. God is not finished. Our stories matter. Our presence matters. And together we can grow, give, and go farther than we ever imagined. This stage of our life can be the best if we allow it to be. I was talking with one of our sagers the other day while we were doing a hospital visit together, and she was telling me how much she loves this time in her life and how fulfilling and enjoyable it is. But we have to purpose for it to be. We can choose to dwell on our aches and pains and the things that discourage us, or we can make ourselves available to God once again and let Him restore the joy and purpose that He has called us to. Sage's ministry is a place to finish strong together. That's a logo we have on our gear hats right now. I would love to see your group finish strong together. Let's make it happen. God bless you all.